Hazel. Okay. Ghouls, demons, fellow weird ones. Thanks for joining. Come drink the moon juice. And let's drink some moon juice. Some more water. My beverages will be changing for a while until I get my tea. I'm so excited. It's almost here. It's almost in the works. It's almost complete. So, anyway, today, in this fun, fabulous outfit, you better be chill there, Hazel. I'm really obsessed with this outfit. I think it's chaotic and fun, and my husband would hate the mixture of patterns because he's boring. But this is fabulous, and then my toesies are cold, so enjoy my fuzzy socks, which is not what I'd be wearing. I would be wearing like some combat boots, I think, yeah, like some good boots with this fit would be nice, like really edgy it up. Ooh, I should have done, maybe future reference, maybe I should have done my little space buns. That could have been super cute too. Okay, anyway, I want to tell a story. Funny enough, I wanted to talk about my fear of public speaking and some throat chakra work. And this goes back to a story from my junior year of high school in my stats class. It was like pre-stats, or something. It's like the pre-algebra version of statistics. Because I took AP stats and I got a C in it. And so to fix my math credit and my GPA, I went and took like the easier class. And then, sorry, I thought my phone was ringing. So then I took like the easier stats class to build a better foundation of statistics, and then I went and took stats again. Anyway, that is somewhat important because of this story of fear of public speaking and kind of what it's rooted in and why it's important for me to talk about it, because it was a very distinguished throat chakra block that I had. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. Where to begin with the story? So one, I would like to say that I never really thought I had a fear of public speaking. I've always been able to talk to a wall. I've been able to talk to anything and anyone, anytime. Like, I'm always talking to people, but maybe it's like a huge crowd of people. Definitely have been afraid to say things, but still said them. Like, I still feel the adrenaline. I get the spicy pits and like everything. But I wouldn't say I've had like a general anxiety of public speaking. I'm usually really proud to like show off things, and I love yapping about the story and all. Like, I love, not to say I love showing off, but I love sharing. I'm really animated and personable in that way. I'm not the most extroverted person sometimes, but generally speaking, like, I'm not really like afraid of people. But there became this fear of vulnerability and like expression, and I do think there is like a general nervousness that I think overcomes everybody to some degree when you're standing in front of people and like all eyes are on you. I understand that. Like, I'm not saying I haven't been nervous. I have been nervous, but my mom always had a real deep fear of public speaking. And like, you had to take a speech class or a communication course, right? That's like a basic general ed for like college classes, especially at the community college. It's like, well, I'm not taking public speaking, but I think she had something, but I remember her talking about it. And I remember not feeling that way for me, but then when she went through it in college, I all of a sudden started having like strong development of like guilt, and like I went through the really weird within me. Like, I felt guilty all the time. I was afraid of everything. And I don't really know where it came from. And I'm not saying it necessarily came from here or this, but around that time, my mom had started going back to school. We moved back in with my grandparents. My mom had started going back to school. She was going to nursing school, but she was taking her prereqs because she didn't go to college after high school. She started working right away. So it's like, it's a whole thing, right? And I just remember her talking about it. It was around that time, so in like sixth grade really, because fifth grade I was really expressive. I started to kind of find like a burst of energy of expression, but then I started to develop this like nervousness, and I don't really know where it came from, because like I did an English expo and I recited a poem that I read in front of everybody. And here's the thing, before I recited it verbally to judges, like 3 or 4 judges, and then like a couple of like people who decided to like stay and watch the event. You know, it's an English expo, right? But before that, that poem was read. I did a voice recording, which I hated doing, mainly because I hated my voice. I hated hearing it because I just didn't think I sounded like what well, it doesn't sound like how I hear me, so it felt weird. I've become a lot more comfortable with my voice now, especially watching myself talk a lot, and I found a lot of appreciation for it. But back then, hated it. But I still like recorded it and did the video and released it. You know, I recited the Declaration of Independence in 5th grade. Like, I've done a couple plays, so I don't really know where this came from, but it kind of built up and became overwhelming. Kind of almost rooted in perfectionism. It was almost like I hadn't like maybe cared about something to this degree or put in as much effort. I'm really not too sure. There was a lot going on, but I do remember my mom talking about her fear of public speaking, and then I also understand this natural fear of public speaking and my complicated relationship to not being afraid to do it, but then being nervous. And mainly it's because when people don't receive you well, which online I've dealt with a lot. I have not pissed off that many people in person. For the most part, people tend to really enjoy me in person. I have upset a few people, but nothing overly negative so far has like come from it. But I'm also like not stupid about it either. Like, I know when to keep my mouth shut, believe it or not, but I'm also willing to say the thing that nobody's willing to say. So it's really interesting to me where this like fear came from. But I also know every time I spoke back to my mom, I got in trouble, I got punished. She put soap in my mouth, maybe twice, but one time I remember specifically because she made me fucking swallow the soap, like that like foam that she didn't sorry, I was gonna say she made me swallow, she wouldn't let me spit. That sounds so awful. And I said that on video. Cool. Anyway, it's the truth. But there were these moments in my life, and my mom's not the only parent who's had their kids like hold a bar of soap in their mouth. Like, I talked back to her, I think, but that's kind of just like the whole point. Like, I've had issues with my voice being stifled, and I know my mom has to some extent. Like, my mom's a complicated person, and I know I bring her up a lot in a lot of these things because that's a big root part of my healing, and even talking about it is healing in itself. Because I'm learning how to, I guess, like dethrone my mom in that pedestal that I put around. Well, to be honest about what happened, but I also, like, I really can't reiterate enough how much I want people to know when I'm talking about this, that there's a lot of love and grace for the situation. Not just for where I've been with it, but where I know my mom came from, where I think my mom came from, what I speculate. Like, there's a lot of unknown. And even at its worst possibility, I still want to show as much love as I possibly can. To move forward with that, I felt a lot of throat chakra blockages. Couldn't talk to my mom, couldn't talk back to anybody. My thoughts were always controversial. And then if I was just yapping, it was making people's ears bleed. Or I must have been alone too long today because I just have a lot to say all the fucking time. And so it manifested into this huge, just overwhelming anxiety. My junior year, I did a statistical study. I ran my own study. I put together this huge project and I was so excited for it. It was a big part of our grade. I really loved Mr. Green, who's a wonderful teacher. I wanted to impress him. I'm trying to redeem myself. I'd been a straight A student to an A and B student because I started taking really hard classes, probably above my developmental grade, to be honest. I had a friend, she had a better GPA than me, she bragged about it, but she had the easiest classes. I was like, dude, I'm taking classes 2 years above my grade level, and you're taking your grade level classes. And yeah, you have a better GPA than me. But I'm in a harder level. I'm proud of my B. I'm tired of not feeling excited that I fucking made a B. But I made a C in AP Stats, and that was the worst thing ever. But I was also really depressed, dealing with a really abusive, controlling on and off relationship, my first real relationship in high school, and like, which I only took stats because he told me he was taking stats, and so I took stats just for that dumbass to take like the basic stats. And I don't know why I thought that fucking stupid fucker was gonna take AP stats, but I did. So as a sophomore, I'm taking his senior class, and I was struggling on top of all the things I'm dealing with socially, developmentally, like all of the above. The teacher, poor Miss Van Riper, she was getting abused by students, and she just couldn't be a good teacher because I'm so happy that she got a job, a high-paying like stats job like elsewhere. She fucking deserved the world after what she went through at that fucking high school. So it's just a really difficult situation, but I gotta see. So I'm trying to redeem myself. There's a lot of pressure, and I just wanted everything to be good. And I'm like the last one, I think, to present, is like just kind of how it ended up working out. I was supposed to be, I could have been like the second to last, but I was like, can someone else go? Because I was starting to panic. I had a full-blown panic attack presenting my stats project. I got 100%, and Mr. Green even laughed. He's like, well, I felt like if I gave you anything less than, I would be a real dick. He was a real cool teacher. I really, really, really love Mr. Green. My favorites from high school. And I still reference a lot of his stats teachings to this day. It really sunk in, because then I had him as a teacher for AP stats again. I was willing to revisit AP stats because of how good of a teacher he was. And so anyway, but he goes, but in all honesty, I was fair in your grade. You did like a really good job. But he acknowledged that it probably looked like, he's like, he wanted me to know that my tears did not determine my grade, even though it probably affected like the scores that the peers gave me, because the class got to grade you. And he goes, so yeah, I'm pretty sure you got some sympathetic tears from the students, but not from me, of course not. Mr. Green is heartless, right? He was a super fun teacher. He was real cool. I wish there were more teachers like him in the world. So I had him. What the fuck? I know Mr. Chichello. I'll bring up Mr. Chichello, Miss Dalton, Miss Anderson, Rolla. I was thinking of his first name, not his last name. Mr. Rolla was another really inspiring teacher. I've had some really cool teachers in my life. Few and far between, but the ones that I had were super special. And they encouraged me to have a voice, and they really admired my intellect and my effort, and I think they saw me in a way that I didn't recognize, which also led to them to teasing me in certain ways that maybe as a teenage girl I didn't appreciate, or internalize in the wrong way, that as an adult I reflect. And I am really grateful to have had those people in my life. And so I think if it wasn't for them, the throat chakra would have probably been permanently sealed. Like, I feel like that part of me could have been severed for good. But I did have these people who really believed in me and encouraged me to continue on, even if I had to do it crying. At least you did it. Even if you do it nervous, even if you do it this way, if you do it that way, at least you did it. And that kind of goes into social media and how I approach social media from the beginning, how I've evolved, and now this new level of comfort where it has finally not really become a second nature, but it's not as distorting as it was. It feels a lot more authentic. But I had to relieve myself of pressure of trying to not upset people or do things the right way. Again, that perfectionism. I wanted to say the right thing, and the more I tried, the harder I tried, the worse it got. And it's like, and then the people are like, you thought this was a good thing to say? And it's like, well, not really. I was just kind of nervous and yapping and channeling and this and that. And like, I'm just a person doing her best, and well aware that I fumble over my words and I put my foot in my mouth, and like I have a lot of uhs, and like my brain, because like my brain's moving so fucking fast, and I'm trying not to channel click, but I'm also trying to like make sure I have like all this information for everybody and this and that, blah 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 blah. So that makes it really difficult, and so there's a lot of anxiety in speaking, especially publicly, especially when the few times that I've done it, people don't like my philosophy, or they don't get it. It's like, well, you need to say it better. It's like, or you need to have some comprehension skills. Where's your media literacy? Then you become aware of how ignorant and delayed and corrupted people are. So you have to give them grace, but then it's fucking infuriating. And I guess like my whole point is I'm trying to not care so much about what I said. I'm trying to watch how I say things, maybe. That's a good way of saying it. I'm being intentional with how I speak or what I speak about, the topic. And I'm just really aware that it's going to be imperfect and messy, and I'm weighing things, I'm processing things, and I know my heart. And eventually I hope the world catches up. But I've also accepted that they may not. And that doesn't mean that I should quit. I need to keep on, even if it's just for the legacy that the archaeologists find a millennia from now when we're all dead. Even if this is just for the future of whoever finds me as a pop cultural historical figure of a yappy little beauty queen who had a fucking iPhone and thought what she had to say was important. Because I do. I think what I have to say is important. I think I have a good message. I think I was meant to say it. And I'm really proud of myself for overcoming all these things to commit to being a writer and a creative and a voice for my generation, for a culture, for a counterculture, and to generate change for hopefully a better world. Or, you know, we can always romanticize the mushroom cloud that I will graciously run into if I can't turn this ship around in time. And it's world domination and doomsday for everybody. I'm not living through it. Like, I tried, see you later. That's where I'm at with it. So I might as well speak it now while the grass is still green and the sky is still blue and I can still breathe mostly fresh air. And we'll see what happens. Anyway, with that is my story about having a fear of public speaking and just letting people know, like, yeah, no, I'm terrified and I'm almost good enough yet. It will be 100 dirty reps. That's what Riley told me. I don't know how long or how many that actually is. Feels like a lifetime. But I'm only on episode, 15? And I really only started this in October? So again, my fucking concept of time and pressure and goals, I'm just too ambitious. I'm not too ambitious. I am perfectly ambitious, but I need to chill. Alrighty. So, thank you for drinking some moon juice, and I will talk to y'all next time. Yeah, big girl, you enjoyed that episode?